Hey everybody, welcome to our Friday night D&D stream, The Lost Wards of Myrwyyn. Somebody's got their, is that me?
I think that was me. Sorry, my bad. I had a video on.
Oh, there we go. There's a little bit of an echo there. But we're good. Sorry about that. We are playing Lost Swords of Myrwyyn. Like I was saying, I have a couple of quick announcements, and then we will get to the game. Number one, I will let you know that we have a contest going on. It ends Sunday. There is a link in the panels down below that you can share on social media to invite people to watch the stream with you. Orion, Justin, who plays on Saturday, has been sharing that stream all over Reddit. He's been sharing that link all over Facebook, all over Twitter, all over social media, and has a commanding lead. Share it. Share the hell out of it. As soon as people click on it, it gives you points and shoots you up the leaderboard, and you can win a box of minis from our sponsor, FarboCo. By the way, FarboCo's link is going to be popping up throughout the stream in our chat. Go to their website, check out what they have. They're awesome people. They're really, really amazing little store in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. They're growing like wildfire. Please go check them out. They totally and 100% support role-playing as their primary focus for a gaming store. Anyway, beyond that, we have another contest going on. My viewers are trying to get me to dab on camera, which I will not do. I hate dabbing, but I have agreed that I will do it if we can get to 200 subscribers by the end of the month. We are at 45. Make their dreams come true. Subscribe to the channel. Use your Amazon Prime free subscription, whatever you can, gift subs, get me to dab. If you go on our Discord page, you will find out that top gifter at the end of the month will also get some awesome prizes. So will second and third place. You can check that out, all that information out on our Discord. Try to get me to dab on camera. I don't think you guys can do it, but everybody thinks they can. So let's see if it can happen. Without further ado, let me allow my players to go ahead and introduce themselves and their characters, and we will get rolling.
Oh, sorry. Hello there. The name is Rowan Garrows, and I'll be your artificer for the evening. It's time to duel.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know what to say, Bookus. Hey, I'm Hoff Bellows. I'm your resident cleric of the Light Air Ganassi. I'm here to help.
I doubt that.
Oh,
I
God.
try my best.
Uh-oh. We're having an audio meltdown on Saturn's end. Taylor, why don't you go ahead and we'll jump back to Saturn after he gets his audio figured out.
Alright. I'm Taylor, your neighborhood glass cannon, the warlock.
Plush for the podcast.
Loophole, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I don't think he's there. Oh, wait.
Oh, go ahead, second.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought you weren't there. I thought you were, like, gone. Like, you usually just... Sometimes, like, I have a period where you go, so... My bad. Oh, okay, I am second. I am the necromancer / wizard of the group of the crew of, well, our ship.
I am Tektite. I am your resident dragon-slaying Warforged, who just found out that, yes, dragons are back, which has upset me dearly. Also, don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell at the top so you can see all of the adventures on Oregon. And just a little side note for that little contest Mark has going on. I am giving away a copy to the top subscriber, to the top person, a copy of the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, courtesy of my local game store. So head over my channel, click on Comic Book World, and take a look at them too if you happen to live in the Cincinnati area. They're providing that for this contest. So
also, if you head over to Loophole's channel and follow him, for every 10 followers he gets, he's going to gift a sub to our channel. So go over there, follow him, subscribe to him, watch his streams. Things are going well over there, so check it out.
Thank you, sir.
Just so you guys know in the chat, Nightbot has been tamed. You have all provided enough slaying ability to take Nightbot's evil actions of silencing our viewers down. The only thing he will be doing is making announcements from now on. I am sorry to do this, but we'll be right back in 1 second. Sorry.
can her judgment be?
Oh yeah, that's true. Hey, we're back. We're back. I just want to let you all know, you the viewers, that my dog is having some issues. My wife is calling the vet right now. We may have to end tonight's stream early. So just we'll be back. We're gonna play for now until I know exactly what's going on. She's upstairs talking to the vet. So yeah, prayers for the dog. Her name's Hayes. She's awesome, and yeah, we want her to be healthy. Oh, I gotta fix the channel points, by the way. Because everybody's using them now. So let me turn on some sweet new channel points that we've got going on right now. They're expensive, but they're fun.
Oh, I can't wait till I get to 50,000.
50,000.
Did they show up?
Holy. Yeah. They showed up as soon as you clicked them. I heard you click on them.
Yes, they're expensive, but you get to do some cool stuff, right? You know what? I want to change that one. We're gonna.
I really want to design a random encounter for you.
So, I'll make some quick announcements. Bookist already redeemed, create an NPC. All right. So here's how these are going to work. You can spend the points to do the thing. Your NPC or your random encounter or your town name that you create will go on a list. Okay, it'll go on like a table. This way, everybody has a fair shot. That everybody who makes one has a fair shot. It goes on a table, like a random encounter, a random NPC, random town generator that I keep. One of the mods will contact you to get the information about those things, and we will put that on our list. When your created content pops up in one of our games, I will then give you a shout out at the end of the stream. So you get not only to create something, but you also will get recognition on camera for that, which will be immortalized. Hey. Loophole. You can't time out Bookist. I'm going to take away your mod powers.
Well, come on. Now, he said he was immune to mods. I just wanted to prove to him that he wasn't.
I'm using the Nightbot, not me the mod.
Oh, that was mean. Okay, so
Regime.
does that? If that's cool, if everybody gets that in chat, go nuts. The mods will contact you sometime soon. I'm not gonna guarantee that they will contact you this evening, but Twitch just send me a list of all of the requests that need to be redeemed and fulfilled, and I am going to pass that on to the mods. They will get their information from you, and we will get that all set up. So yeah, Bookist, you'll get to create the first NPC from that, and yeah, we'll go from there. So anyway, hang out, create things. Dio, there you go, creating an NPC. Sorry guys, let me pull up my notes here and we'll get playing. Anyway.
Or actually, when last we left off, Tech was doing his version of a random number generator.
That's true, he was. And actually, that's right. So when we last left off, you guys had decided to spend the 2 days that it would take to go through every possible combination to open that gate, and without any avail. The gate refused to open. And second, spending his time awaiting the return of Myrwyyn to that room, discovered that his wait would be very, very long, as no one returned to them. As the time ran out, you all headed back to the ship. When we pick up, you've been aboard the Daring Grace. The ship was able to get down to the sea and sail for several days to Grovair. About 3 days of time at sea to get to the port where you can resupply, make repairs, and head on. Over the course of that time, you all have done several things. Identified the spell scrolls that you took from Mythfont. You've had several meetings with the captain in regards to what you had discovered down there. Perhaps you spent some time studying the tomes that you had received from both the captain and the elves in order to figure out where the next ward might be located. Rowan, you spent some time working on your puzzle box. Tektite, you've spoken several times to Avernicus about crafting a lance to slay dragons. Taylor, you made a very, very nice polar bear skin cloak. But you had several days to do these things. Now you've pulled into port at Grovair. The city is one of many wonders as you sail in. The port itself is busy with trade activity. Ships pull in and out, and as you get close, you see that the docks are actually built out on an island away from, on a smaller island away from the main island. This smaller island is almost a small city unto itself. You sail into the tiny bay on the island of Grovair, and this smaller island in the midst of the bay is just hustling and bustling with activity. Hundreds of ships sail in, and the balloon has been pulled in and wrapped up and lays upon the deck of the ship in a bundle, in like a long bundle that lays across the entirety of the deck of the ship, tied off so as to not arouse much attention, and sails have been unfurled to get it in to shore. A huge naval galleon, painted with the banner of the city of Grovair, and the banner of the Grovair Navy, sails near you as you approach. And you see something that you may not expect to see on other ships. Cannons.
Oh.
This ship has cannons. Cannons are not normal for warships to have in Ordan. Most ships still use ballistas and trebuchets for naval combat, but this ship has cannons. It sails along the bay on patrol, guarding the trade vessels that enter the bay. You pull up to the docks. The ship pulls up to the docks, and Taylor, you slide down the ropes back onto the deck of the ship, and several men begin throwing a line out to the dock to be tied off. Excuse me. As soon as you reach the docks, those of you on deck notice several things. First of all, it's packed with ships and packed with people, and they're all moving almost in lines towards a garrisoned area. There are several square, blocky buildings guarded by small guard towers and connected by a series of chain link fencing or raw iron fencing. And there are openings, gates in this fencing in order to access these long, blocky buildings. And you see people forming lines and filing towards them. The captain comes on deck of the ship and moves over to the gangplank and stands by it, along with the first officer. And she says to everyone, "We'll be having at least the next day of shore leave. Return to the ship at the end of the day to see how long our repairs will take. Once everything's up and ready to go, we'll be setting sail, hopefully through the air. Mr. Leventree will be handing out pay. Do not get yourselves too drunk. Do not spend it all in one place. Enjoy your shore leave, ladies and gentlemen. Return by the end of the day. That is all." And she steps away, and First Officer Leventree is standing by the gangplank with a satchel on his side. And you all gather on the deck.
Tecte steps out onto the deck, looks around, and then just stops for probably 10 minutes. Doesn't move. This is way too many people. I have never seen a city with humans in it.
No, you have not. This looks like a dwarven city, but built outside.
Tectite is just standing there, not even making noise at this point.
I'm gonna go up nonchalantly. Well, shall we go shopping? No? Okay. By myself. And then I go ahead and collect my payment and get off the boat.
Okay.
Wait. I'm coming too.
He's gotta spoke up.
I've got like a small bundle of like scrolls in my hands.
Yeah, I'll tell you what all the scrolls are, because you've translated all the scrolls, and also whoever wants to try and figure out what's on the history scrolls, we can talk about how that can work as well. But yeah,
that was anytime Tectite wasn't trying to figure out how to make this thing, because he has no skill in it whatsoever, by the way. The weapon. And he doesn't remember how they did it before because he wasn't paying any attention. He will be standing in front of the captain's door reading these things, or asleep. Those are the only three things he does.
Okay.
For the entire trip.
Tectite, don't you want to come? They might have stuff that might be able to kill dragons.
Well, where is this place?
I really say Tectite. You might want to check out. Okay, you might want to check out the academy and talk to a couple of the artificers there. They might be able to fit your body with some new weapons, figure what they know, or a blacksmith shop if you want a custom made weapon.
But there's no dwarves here. Who built this city?
Everyone, humans actually originally, but historically everyone lived here at one point or another. I think originally though it was humans at the time during the Valkyrian Empire. I think.
This is This is wondrous. So many people to use in the fight against the dragon.
As you kind of exit the gangplank, you each, those of you who are part of the crew, so everybody but Rowan gets payment, but Commander Exo Leventry hands you a pouch as well, Rowan, and says, "This is some of your fee for passage returned to you for your aid on the island."
Rowan takes his goggles. Thank you very much. That's mighty good of you and the captain.
Your help has been invaluable. Rowan, you get 20 gold. The rest of you get 40.
3 gold's a lot, huh?
I'm definitely spending all of this in the same place.
I wonder if there's like a banking place somewhere. Like a bank.
Actually, yeah. Could we start a banking account if we get interest?
You certainly can. There is an Imperial Bank here in Grovair, and actually there is a bank on the island that the docks are built onto.
Nice. Very nice.
I know where Rowan's going.
You guys exit the ship onto the docks and head and kind of form into one of these lines along with the rest of the crew on the ship. These buildings are there's just these long lines of people entering these buildings, and you see any variety of humanoid and creature that you can imagine. There are a myriad numbers of humans from all over Orden. There are let's see, there are you see a couple of Goliaths. You see a Tabaxi. You see a couple of air Ganassi and earth Ganassi, and like there's like a knit of like 3 or 4 different Ganassi in one spot, and they're all dressed very exotically. You see you just see all different types of people here. Elves, half-elves, dwarves, gnomes. And they're on these long lines. You guys kind of follow this line into one of these buildings, and when you get into the doorway, you see that there is a big table set up, and a gentleman wearing a red tunic with a falcon crest stitched onto it, and on like the breast, sits there. He's got a number of rings on, and a very, very well oiled mustache, and he kind of sits around his chair, if you understand what I'm saying. And he's got these stubby little fingers that he keeps peaked until someone approaches, and he flashes them a hefty smile and says, "Welcome to Grovair. Do you have any coin, valuables, weapons, or magical goods to declare before entering the city?" And we'll say he's saying this to each person that walks up. And he Taylor, you said you were the first one who's like, I'm going shopping. So you're at the front of the line, and as soon as you come up to the line, this gentleman takes a fresh page of parchment and has a quill, and it's on this like wooden slate that that these parchments have been tacked to, and he says, "Name."
It's Taylor. Taylor,
Taylor Hymen, he writes with his quill. Oh, looks up at you. What is your purpose in our wonderful city?
Well, we were on at Bearing Grace, but we came here for repairs. We got paid a little bit. I'm looking to spend some coin.
Repairs and shopping.
Yes.
Do you have any magical items, weapons, or coin to declare, please?
What do you mean declare?
Are you bringing any weapons, magical items into the city?
Well, yeah, I got my 2 scimitars right here.
2 scimitars. Any other magical gear that we should be aware of?
Well, I have this little bag full of scrolls. I was looking to get them, looked at and how much they might be able to sell for.
Trying to sell spell scrolls. I will let you know that the use of weapons beyond the island is beyond the docks, the dockside island is prohibited without having a sponsorship by one of the noble houses.
What if I was just defending myself?
You shouldn't need to. Weapons are allowed here on the docks and on the dockside island, but once you leave the dockside island, you will need to leave your weapons behind. This is simply a friendly reminder. Should you draw a weapon within the confines of the city proper, you will be detained or fined. He then says, the use of casting magical spells is restricted as well beyond the dockside island. If you arrive in the main city and cast spells, you could be fined unless you have a sponsorship by the university itself. Do you understand these terms?
Yeah, sure. We have someone that might be nobility. What if I just guard him?
You don't know that. Rowan hasn't told you yet. Sorry.
But you did say artificers were rare.
Artificers are rare, yes, but his nobility is something he's kept to himself. I apologize for convenience. I've been using to myself sometimes, but you don't know he's noble right now.
Well, I mean,
just saying that he's an
kind of assume.
Sure. Artificers are rare. Doesn't necessarily mean he's nobility. He says, as long as you confine your spell casting and use of weapons to the dockside island, you will be fine. Outside of dockside, once you reach the city proper, you will need to obtain the proper paperwork to do so. I'm sure that for a small fee you can obtain the paperwork you desire. He says, if you have any coin, you will have to turn them in here, and we will present you with a banknote for an exchange.
All right.
Do you declare your coin?
Yeah, I guess I have to.
How much gold are you declaring?
We'll do 50.
Okay. He takes your 50 gold, puts it into a lockbox, and writes out a banknote for 50 gold and hands it to you.
Thank you.
And then this process goes on to the rest of you. He states the same things. Rowan,
yes.
You are from Grovair, correct?
That is correct. He is a resident of Grovair. He's just traveling to Ironstone Hall.
Okay. Right. And Geneva, the ship was making a stop here to resupply, and to gather information before heading out. towards Ironstone Hall. The same process. This process is not unfamiliar to you. This process has been in place ever since the king died about a year ago. They kind of locked down the customs part of entering the city ever since the death of the king by assassination. So that the Navy and the house that controls the Navy and the house that controls trade kind of share the responsibility of customs, but it's kind of a unsteady alliance. They need each other, but they don't like that they need each other. And what's that?
No, I'm trying to avoid interrupting still, even if we talk at the same time.
No, go ahead. You go ahead. If you have questions.
No, they can wait. Nothing important right now.
Okay. You see that the people at these tables at every entrance to this building are wearing the same red tunic, but there are people walking around wearing a different uniform as well, kind of like a blue tunic with kind of like gold interlaced upon it, and they seem to be the dockside guards. And this question goes through to each of you. So, how much gold are you declaring as you come up to the table? And this same process kind of happens. They ask your name, they ask what you're doing here, and they ask you if you have any gold or weapons to declare, and go through the same spiel.
Okay. I'm guessing Rowan's probably knows before sleep, so I'm guessing he would know if it's just smart to clear all the gold and just move on. Like you know what I mean? Like, I guess he would know that. Not like what's the smartest thing to do.
You kind of any gold that you, in order to spend any money in the city, you have to use Groveran coin. They don't accept. There's strict restrictions by the family that controls trade in the city, that you have to use Groveran coin while you're in the city. So if you don't exchange your gold, they will. You'll have to deposit it in the bank, and that's the only thing you can do with it.
Okay. Quick question before I forget. If you don't mind asking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm guessing the bank can also exchange, right? I'm supposed to exchange Grover normal, right? For free or.
Sure. The docks are having you declare your gold here, and then they will give you a banknote to bring to the bank to get the exchange. So yeah.
Right, so the bank can exchange it back to ordinary gold once I leave.
Correct. There is an exchange fee, of course, and you are aware of this.
Okay. So, there's an exchange fee.
There's an exchange fee either way. This is basically doing it this way basically gives the city a cut of whatever money you bring into it. That's what this whole process is about, and you know that. That the city of Grover does nothing without getting its cut.
Okay then. Let's see. The goal I have now. I guess I'll declare 75 gold up front.
Okay, you declare the 75 gold, and he gives you a banknote for 75 gold as well.
Okay, I tip my hat. Thank you.
He smiles, and this process continues throughout. Tektite, your primeval awareness makes you aware of what? Again.
Dragons, undead.
Celestial, fey, or fiend?
Yeah.
You sense fey. You definitely sense fey, but That's... it's within a mile of you, correct?
Actually, we are on the coast, so it would be 6 miles.
Okay. I will say that there's definitely Fae and maybe Celestial that you sense. You also sense Undead within 6 miles of you.
There's the. I put it in there.
Okay. You don't send any dragons. You don't sense any fiends. You don't sense any elementals. But I'm going to say aberrations, celestials, fae, undead. There's definitely like I think even elementals. I'm going to say you sense at least one of each of those things in the city. Maybe more of some. Maybe a little more undead. Within 6 miles. 6 miles is a big area. So yeah, you're covering a lot of ground there.
And then the other thing happens.
So you just break from the line and start walking towards the exit on the other side.
Yes.
Stop right there! Stop that man! Construct, stop it! And some of the men in blue step in front of you as you start to step out of line. I'm sorry, sir, but you must go through customs.
This seems like a waste. I have a dragon to kill. I must speak with someone in charge.
They look at each other and start laughing. Sir, you're gonna... That's very funny, sir, but please, you're gonna have to get back in line.
Have you looked at me? Do I look like a normal warforged to you? Notice my construction. I was built 900 years ago to fight dragons. I'm telling you there is a dragon within range of this city, and I am on my way to kill it. Now step aside.
They look over to Rowan. Do you look like an artificer?
Currently, I am. Let's see. It would. I'm well, sort of. Currently, not really. No. Currently, I'm in my I forget what it's called. My infiltrator armor. So it's currently. You can't even see that I'm wearing my artificer armor right now, as is.
Okay.
Though, so as it is. I mean, again, I am a resident here, and artificer's rare, so they might very well know that I am one. It's
sure.
Possible.
Sure. They turn to. They just turn to the group of you that he stepped away from. Are any of you responsible for this construct?
If I was, I'd be dead.
I think Rowan at this point has given up on trying to take responsibility for Tektite. He not gonna bother trying that.
Where is your master, construct?
I take a step forward. Unfortunately, this construct is under his own control. He is no normal construct. He is something of legend, if you could call it. And he is hunting the legendary last dragons of this world, so if you could, please let him by.
He can go by as soon as he declares any weapons in gold.
You see, this creature is a living piece of art and artifacts. I think it would be wrong to detain him in this way.
Well, regardless of whether you think it would be wrong or not, everyone must go through customs. It is for security purposes. Please, step back in line. Declare your weapons in gold.
Fine.
I look Tektite in the eye and I just say...
Tektite drops his gold on the floor. Gold. Pulls his shield out. Shield. Sword. Puts them both back and starts to walk away.
The two men, did you pick up all the gold or did you just leave it on the floor?
I dropped the bag. I'm assuming that Hoff is going to pick it up. I have no need for it. I've never used gold before.
Wait, dwarves don't have gold? Are you sure?
Oh, dwarves have gold, but he's a warforged. He never needed gold for anything. He doesn't eat. He doesn't sleep. His whole purpose was to hunt dragons.
Yeah, the dwarves gave me the weapons I wanted. If it broke, they built me a new one. I have no use for this. I just dropped the bag that they gave me onto the floor, show them my shield, scimitar, put them both back, and start marching towards the door. Because I did what he said. He said, declare them. Here they are.
They shrug. Just don't use it outside of the docks.
Fine. I keep marching.
I pick up his gold and so sorry for the interruption.
I thought you were going to come with me.
I will continue on. I will follow him.
If you get out of line with the golden stuff, they will stop you as well. So please, just continue in the line, and continue forward. They kind of shrugged at each other, and Tektite, as you get to the exit, men in breastplates and helmets with the falcon insignia on them step in front of you and stop you once again.
Yes.
We're going to be keeping our eye on you, Construct. You have offered... Regardless, you have offered great offense to our house. Keep your nose clean while you're in the city.
I don't have a nose, and I push between them and walk down.
Yes, I'm gonna, Rowan. I'm gonna say that as a part of a former or current noble house, and having studied maybe at the university, I'm gonna say that yes, you have a writ to practice magic in the city.
Okay, just asking.
Anyway, this process goes on, and each of you are given a voucher for however much gold you declare. Just let me know how much you've declared in the chat. You can just type it into the Roll20 chat, so I know. And you eventually make your way into the through this and into the promenade. The promenade market is huge. Okay, it takes up a good chunk of this part of the dockside island. There's literally like as soon as you come out of this, there's a huge piazza with a big fountain in the center of it, with a phoenix flying out of the center of the fountain, and like the water is coming out of the mouth of the phoenix and up from around behind the phoenix and splashing into the fountain itself. There's an open air market in this area, and it's vast, and it's filled with just a myriad number of races and people. There's all types of colors and scenes. Street performers are in the streets, and there are and the streets itself are lined with 2-story shops that you can buy from. There's anything you can think of, any mundane thing you can think of, you can probably purchase in this part of town. Finding people who sell permanent magical items is extremely rare, right? Artificers are not everyday things, and Rowan can tell you that. However, finding scroll shops and apothecaries, potion makers, those things are there to be found throughout the city. And so here you are. You find yourself in one of the greatest trade hubs of the Valkyrian Empire, surrounded by shops and luxury.
I'll walk up the road. Hey, Roland, since you're so proficient in this stuff, how much would a regular magic item cost?
Which magic? You have to be more specific. Some magic items are still hard to make than others, regular or not.
What about an average? How much would the regular... I'm gonna just say uncommon, out of character, but because that's what I'm trying to basically get my point across. Sure.
Rowan, you can tell him that most artificers... you go ahead. You go ahead. We've had this conversation enough times. You could probably say
it. Okay. Well, most artificers that do craft... Well, I'm assuming you don't mean a potion, because those are a lot more common. But you mean something like closer to my goggles, correct?
Were you asking me?
Yeah, I'm saying you mean like a magic item that's more, like my goggles or something. Not like
Yeah,
like
something like your goggles. And I've heard of boots that make you kind of like silent. Those would be really cool.
Those will cost you run you back at least 1,000 gold for those boots. If my memory is correct.
I can't.
The fact of the matter. Well, yeah, but the thing is, most magic items like these, they're hard to make and take years to even be able to even attempt learning. They'll cost you at least a few hundred. They can't be mass produced effectively.
That would assume so, but you know.
Potions are a lot cheaper because you can just grow them. They're not. There's a lot easier with those. Those can be mass produced to a degree.
Well, hopefully these scrolls are worth quite a bit, huh?
Rowan gives an honest shrug. Depends on the spells, and I don't know which ones are on those ones yet.
I can tell you. I can tell you what are on each scroll. So if you want to know, I have that information for you.
I don't think I ever went to check.
I believe Hoff had said that during his downtime he was going to spend the time figuring out what the scrolls were, because it's a you were inside Mythfont for 2 days, and then you were on the sea for like 3. So you've had about 5 days of downtime, and I believe that Hoff said during that downtime he would help decipher what the spell scrolls were.
Yeah,
so,
Hoff came to me and said he would do that. Yeah, I guess I would.
Okay.
Yeah, Second said he would do the same thing, and you have Identify, don't you? Second?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right.
So we could increase that time. We could do it by a whole lot faster.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you guys head into this market. It's filled with people, and you try to figure out where everything is. Rowan, I don't know how much time you spent on Dockside, but Taylor, you have a sense that most cities are probably the same, and you can figure out your way around here, especially a marketplace. The city of Grovair is broken down into districts, and each district is made up of a number of neighborhoods. This district is the Dockside district. It takes up the entirety of this initial island. There are several neighborhoods within it, and you are in the Promenade. The Promenade, as I said, is mostly a market district, and it's mostly there to service incoming visitors. Lots and lots of things to buy, lots and lots of sights to see, and several taverns and inns.
So do I need to go to the bank before I can spend money?
You would have to go to the bank, which is on this island. There is a bank on this island. There's an exchange that you can go to. If that's where you're all going to head, then I will tell you about that. It's about a 1.5 mile walk to get to the exchange if you ask somebody where it is.
I will do that.
Okay. You are easily... There are several... You find a lot of those... a lot of men and women wearing those blue tunics with the gold twill, walking around the city. They carry a wand and a baton on them, as well as a sword, and they're walking up and down the streets of the city in various places. Every once in a while, you'll see a pair of the breastplated, falcon-crested Marines on a street corner or walking around. They can probably give you directions. Rowan, would you have spent a lot of time on the Dockside Island, or would you have spent most of your time in the city proper?
City proper. That's similar problem. That's where the university is, where the bank is. Why would I be in the dock?
Absolutely. There's an exchange on the dock. Like I said, there's an exchange, and the Imperial Bank itself is located on the Dockside Island. They're both controlled by the family that controls trade in the city, which is House Benton. So, but most people can make... There's also a smaller bank on the, in the city proper, so that those of you who live in the city don't have to travel all the way to the dockside to do business. The dockside is very busy and it's very full. You wind your way through the streets of the city, and after a decent walk, you find yourself at the Imperial Bank. It is a big be-columned building in the old Valkyrian style. And you walk in, and it is filled with marble and gold trim and just every excuse for lavishness and every look of security. Upon walking into the bank, you are approached by a greeter. She gives you a huge smile and says, "Welcome to the Imperial Bank of the Empire. Though it may have fallen, we still stand. A perfect place to protect your valuables. How may I direct you?"
We got the note here from the docs and we need to exchange.
Ah, yes, of course. You can find your way to any of our tellers and they would be glad to help you. You make your way into a line, and there's a dwarf in a vest and very nice tunic, sitting behind like a screen of like gold-plated wrought iron, and he takes your exchange note and hands you back your gold minus 10%.
Jesus Christ.
That's a rough exchange rate.
Is mine better because I'm a resident?
Yours is slightly better because you're a resident. You show that you're a resident. If you show that you're a resident of Grovair, I would assume that you would have some kind of paperwork showing your residency, and they only take 5% from yours.
Right, that. Yeah. That's better.
And he, of course, does all of this with a smile and says, "Enjoy your stay within the city."
Yes, of course.
Thanks so much.
No, okay, well, okay, you guys do what you want. I'm going to open up an account here.
What does everybody want to do? Why don't I give you the contents of your scrolls real quick?
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then we can go from there. So each of you pull this up. All right. Hoff, you grabbed the following scrolls: 1 Burning Hands, 2 Cure Wounds, 2 Magic Missiles, 1 Darkness,
2 missiles?
2 scrolls of Magic Missile. So one scroll of Burning Hands, 2 scrolls of Cure Wounds, 2 scrolls of Magic Missile.
Gotcha.
A scroll of Darkness. A scroll of Scorching Ray. 2 scrolls of Shatter. 1 scroll of Daylight. A scroll of Fireball. 1 scroll of Tiny Hut. 1 scroll of Big B's Hand. 1 Hallow. And 1 Telepathy.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. Well, you grabbed 15 scrolls in really nice scroll cases. So,
That I did.
Taylor?
Alright.
Uh,
Ready.
you have 1 scroll of Animal Friendship, 2 scrolls of Charm Person, 2 scrolls of Command, a scroll of Dissonant Whispers, a scroll of Enthrall, 2 scrolls of Suggestion, 2 scrolls of Zone of Truth, 1 scroll of Fast Friends, a scroll of Charm Monster, a scroll of Confusion, and 1 scroll of Dominate Monster.
Okay.
And yes, I did roll randomly for these.
Okay.
So
I got 1 Animal Friendship, 2 Charm Person, 2 Command, 1 Whispers, 1 Enthrall, 2 Suggestion, Truth,
2 Truths.
2 Zone of Truth. Okay.
Yep. 1 Fast Friends, 1 Charm Monster, 1 Confusion, and 1 Dominate Monster. Second,
Yes.
you have 2 scrolls of False Life,
Okay.
1 scroll of Inflict Wounds, 2 scrolls of Blindness Deafness, 3 scrolls of Gentle Repose, 2 scrolls of Ray of Enfeeblement, a scroll of Animate Dead,
Oh, really? That is okay.
a scroll of Revivify, a scroll of Vampiric Touch, 1 scroll of Blight, and 1 scroll of Create Undead.
Hmm. Oh wow, I got a really good one. Nice, thank you.
Yeah, I just like stirring the pot. You're welcome. So those are the scrolls you have. You have a crap ton of scrolls. And you can do as you will with them. Remember these things. You have to be in order for you to utilize the scroll, it has to be on your spell list. Not a spell you know. It just has to be a spell that your class can cast, right? And if it is above a level of a spell that you can cast, you have to roll to try and cast it successfully. If you fail, then bad things can happen, or nothing can happen. So just a reminder, so that you don't think that scrolls mean you can just start casting 9th level spells at random.
Oh.
What's that?
I want a refund.
I want a refund. Well, you could always go and try and sell them. You might get some gold for that.
Or you might get 8d, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Damage.
Yes. All right. Why don't you guys decide where in the city you want to go and what you want to do? I am going to take a quick break, check on my pup, and use the restroom, and I will be right back. We'll be back.
All right.
Oh, okay.
We are back. Give you a quick pup date. She seems to be doing okay right now. Vet said to just give her some bread and rice, see if that helps settle her stomach, and then we will move on from there. So she seems to be doing okay. She's laying on Mama's lap and feeling a little better.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm actually relieved because all joking aside, it's not that important. But I had a word with my own dog recently because he was just so tired. And long story short, he had an infection where his own white blood cells were attacking his red blood cells.
Oh wow!
Red blood.
Wow.
He survived. Like he survived. Like he survived.
Good.
He survived the infection. So yeah, I was very worried, but he's okay now.
Yeah,
that's good. He's trying to eat everything like he normally does. That means he's feeling better.
Yeah, that's what dogs do, right? And I'm pretty sure she ate something she shouldn't have, and it upset her stomach, and she seems to be doing a lot better now. So hopefully that'll continue to be the case. So yeah,
They're like little children.
There's your pup date.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to hear that.
By the way, do you think you could have the pup on the stream at some point? We would love to see her.
I'll see if I have a picture of the pup that I can throw up on the screen.
I'm waiting on the cat.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not. The pets are not down here right now, and it's hard to get the pup on the screen because she's not a tiny one. She's not big. She's a medium-sized dog. But let me see if I can throw up the pup on the screen real quick. Let's see what we got.
Stream.
What's that?
I said I gotta load it up so I can see.
Let's see. Looking for pictures of the pup. I know we gotta have one.
You're gonna get like 6 more viewers because you put a puppy dog on.
I know. That's
my only video on YouTube. The only video on YouTube that I have that has any views is the one with Emily, my daughter, Miss M, helping me play Magic Arena and giving me a hard time the whole time about it.
Hey, that's
the only one that gets any views.
That's what they do, right?
Like, oh look, there's a 9-year-old giving this 50-year-old a crap while he plays Magic. This is what I watched today.
And Rowan, I'm just double checking with you. You did get the thing that I said about me handing you over Bigby's hand?
I'm sorry, but you're cutting in and out there. I didn't get that.
I handed you Bigby's hand, the scroll.
Thank you.
Oh, I was going to say, you have Bigby's hand. Doesn't he want that back?
Ha ha.
You have me a tiny hut as well, or just the scroll, or just that?
I think that was the only one. I've got the hut, but can you cast the hut?
No.
Let me check, actually.
I don't think you can. It
No.
only says Bard Wizard.
You can cast Rope Trick.
It might not have been updated, though, because...
Yeah. Speaking of Bigby's hand, that was a big joke of ours back in 2nd edition. It was, anytime somebody mentioned the hand of Vecna, it's like, oh yeah, sure, you find the hand in the eye of Vecna. And he's wearing them. And you're like, oh, okay, shit, that seems bad. It's like, I see you found your toys. We'll leave you alone.
Yeah, I don't get the hut. You're right. I don't get it.
Yeah, Artificer. I play an Artificer on Thursdays, and we get Rope Trick, which is
an amazing spell.
It is an amazing spell, except for the simple fact is that everybody else gets hut at the same level. So it's just like...
Well, yeah.
I always thought of Rope Trick as like a quick escape. Like you're in a place that is not going to go well for you. There's a CR 15 to 22 demon outside, and you are about to be murked by it.
All right, guys, I'm throwing it up on the stream so you guys can see. There it is. Sorry, I was having some technical issues. Streamlabs didn't want to get out of the way. That's Hayes. That's our pup. So yeah, she's a sweetie.
She's so cute.
Yeah, she's a sweetie. So
she needs to be bigger, though.
What's that?
I said she needs to be bigger, though.
Bigger? She's fine. She's a medium-sized dog. That's good enough. That's good enough.
And I cannot lie.
We like our medium-sized dog. Our house is not big enough for a big dog. So
neither is my friend's house. And his He's got 2 teenage boys and 3 mastiffs.
Look at that. You are 100% right. As soon as I popped a pop-up on the screen, we're at 16 viewers from 13. Immediately, 3 more people just show up once a picture of the dog's on the screen. I don't get it.
So you were asking what we wanted to do now that we've transferred all the money. Well, they have. I don't know if anybody did anything with my money. I don't know if Taylor did anything with my, or Hoff did anything with my money.
Yeah. I did transfer that. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All your money and say, I don't want nothing to do with this.
Yeah, it's Tech-Tite's going to look at the group and go, if you all are done, we need to find the nearest dwarven forge. And I march out the door, and I'm going to find the nearest dwarf. The nearest dwarf, like random dwarf on the street.
I mean, the teller was a dwarf.
Huh?
Yeah,
oh, she is?
Yeah, the teller.
Yeah,
the teller is a dwarf. Yeah, he's a dwarf making the exchanges.
Oh, then I wait till they're done. And I obviously didn't notice because I was busy tapping my foot and staring at the ceiling because this is dumb. So, but all these fleshlings and all their money thing, I don't understand any of this.
No, you don't.
So I march up and I'm like, "Excuse me, fine dwarf."
Yes, can I help you, sir?
Yes. Where is your forge?
My forge.
Well, the Empire's forge, or not the Empire. The what do they call it? It's the Kingdom's forge. Sorry, the Kingdom's forge. Where's the Kingdom's forge?
If you're looking for a smith, you can find many of them in the city, and they're not all dwarves. And I'm slightly offended that you came up to me and assumed that simply because I'm a dwarf that I have a forge.
Well, I was looking for the Kingdom's forge, not just any forge. Where's the forge of the Kingdom? The master smiths.
You mean of the city of Geneva, or I'm sorry, of the city of Grover? You want to know one of the military forges?
Yes, where's one of the forges from the sentries from Dragon Guard?
What are you?
I'm Warforged.
I'm sure that if you need a forge, you can find any number of smiths in the city. If you require directions to a military forge because you are constructed on behalf of the city, you can ask one of the guard and they can take you there.
Very well. You have a good day, Sir Dwarf. Right? He turns and marches outside looking for the next random dwarf because this one
That is
what is with dwarves and not knowing where the forges are? Like, what? This makes no sense to me.
At this point, I think Rowan would come to Tech-Tite trying to help. Okay. Tech-Tite, let me try and Tech-Tite. Would you like a bit of help finding a nearest forge?
No, I need the Dwarven Kingdom forge.
In that case, Tech-Tite, you want the stuff that I'm getting off at Ironstone Hall. That's the capital of the dwarves now, and that's where, if you want a true dwarven forge, that is where you'll find it.
You absolutely know the name of that city, Tech-Tite.
Yes, I know where that's at. There should be dwarves here that can forge. Take me to it. While he's talking to me, is there a dwarf that walks by?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a dwarf that walks by. There's a dwarven woman with like a pack of children around her.
Excuse me, good woman. Kind dwarf.
She kind of like looks at you wide-eyed and like ushers her children away as fast as she can. This giant robot is trying to stop her on the street.
All right. I'm like, very well. Where are all these other forges then?
I'll direct you to a good solid blacksmith that I know, the same one that actually forged the armor that I wear myself personally.
Excellent.
And Tech-Tite, though I will say this, Tech-Tite, I think you really need to know just how rare warforged are. I don't think you truly understand that.
What do you mean rare?
What
there
I mean
are thousands
is
of us.
No, Tech-Tite. I want you to understand that I would say this in a zone of truth. I am not lying to you. That is how serious I am. Okay.
What is a zone of truth?
A zone of truth is a spell where the caster can where a spell where a person with a caster can force people to tell the truth and not to deceive anyone in any way, and not speak deceptions. It is a spell though you usually have bards cast or paladins.
So you would swear on your hammer.
Yes, or my armor, I suppose. But yes.
Very well.
But here's the thing, Tektite. We don't know what a lot of the Warforged were killed in the wars, and the remainder of them were either deactivated by the Valkyrian Kingdom hundreds of years ago, or scrapped and destroyed entirely.
What do you mean scrapped and destroyed?
Well,
you mean that they were disassembled for their parts?
Rowan not. It is as you say. And the thing is, Valkyria Empire has fallen long ago too, mind you. It's no longer around.
Because if there were any of them left, I would crush them under my heel.
As you should, Tektite. What I do not, I thought you should. But the fact is, Tektite, almost no one knows what Warforged are. I do because I had a formal education. And the thing is, though, your average person, well, remember those golems we fought underground? That's how most people see you. A mindless automaton who's only capable of doing their master's bidding. They don't realize you have a soul. You are built to think for yourself and have true autonomy. I mean, they don't know that.
Very well. I will point me the way of this forge.
Tektite,
and I'll follow him to it.
Very well, then, Tektite. I'll show you where I got my own my own armor. By the way, if you have any question about the history as well, or anything else, honestly, feel free to ask me. I am well versed in history. Also, Tektite, if you like, I do have one use. There's one use for your money you actually would probably want. I think that even you would consider worthwhile. I am employed with the university. I could, if you like, I could help you get a permit in order to practice magic in the city, so that way you don't have to worry about people trying to stop you like those guards did earlier. It makes your life a lot easier.
I have no need for that. Take me to the forge.
Rolling is drunk. Very well then. Follow me, Tektite.
While Tektite is talking like this, I kind of feel a little bit guilty, so I'm gonna walk up and kind of like try to sneak his 45 gold Groverian monies into one of his straps or pockets.
Okay, you're gonna like sneak it into you're gonna like put it into Tektite's. Are you you're holding on to Tektite's money, or you're giving it to him? I'm sorry.
I'm giving it to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's reverse pickpocketing.
Right. Yes. Okay. That's what I thought. Do you want to do that stealthily, or are you just doing it?
I'm gonna try stealthily.
All right. Give me a sleight of hand roll.
Yes.
+0. Here we go.
Let's do it.
I'm not gonna lie. When you say you're gonna feel guilty, I thought you were going to steal from him.
Sleight of hand. I rolled in real life again. Same roll. Literally the same roll.
Nice.
Really?
What is your passive, Tektite?
13. I don't notice anything.
All right. You've been mysteriously gifted your gold back.
Yep, 45 gold pieces worth of Groverian money.
Okay. You guys head into the market. Taylor, you find what you're looking for fairly quickly. If you're looking for a reputable scroll shop, you can find that easily. If you are looking for a disreputable scroll shop, you can find that easily, although the rest of your party may not be able to, and may wonder why you're going to a back alley dealer. But you can...
I went off on my own a little bit right after.
All right, you're gonna walk off in your own direction, and Rowan and Tektite are going off in a direction. Hoff, are you headed over to the temple? Is that where you're headed?
Yeah, and if I could make one stop along the way. That's
okay.
all.
And second, where are you going? What's your plan for being in the city?
I was actually hoping to deposit some of my money into a bank.
Sure. You guys can deposit your monies in the bank as well. And I will get Rowan and second. You both open accounts and deposit your money into those accounts, and I will let you know what the exchange rate will be, or not exchange rate. The what benefits you have of depositing that money is.
6%.
What's that?
Instead, watch it be like not even 1%.
Basically what it is.
Rowan would probably try and haggle or negotiate for better interest rate. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
We'll do that later. Or...
Yeah, you and I can deal with that. I want to keep things moving along a little bit. Let me pull up what I need.
What's this little island named Label out here?
Named what?
Label.
Label.
I don't know. Ask the map maker.
Yo.
I just noticed it. I can't see it on chat because on
It's
your
covered.
screen because it's covered by the thing. But I was
Yeah.
like, I already made a note. Remove label.
Yeah.
Put Twyland Hill back over the city.
Oh my gosh.
Label is the island of Label is known to actually be very dangerous. It's got the nickname. It has increasing the nickname bonus dungeon from the few who survive.
Please, somebody, if you have the ability, retrieve like a name a town. Label must be its name, and this is where it must be.
Oh god. By the way, this is the island you were stuck on. Actually, it wouldn't be that far away. It would be closer. Or, I mean, it wouldn't be that close. It would probably be farther away. So it's probably this island that you got stuck on. That you crash landed upon.
We have a map for it.
We don't have a map for it. So
An official map.
I had an issue with Roll20 and lost a lot of the stuff that was saved on it, including our map. So,
Oh no!
I know.
We have it saved on the streams, don't worry.
That's
Oh,
true.
yes.
You can recreate it.
I can fix it.
Uh,
We can fix it in post. It's okay.
We can fix it in post. All right, I need to pull up my magical item pricing guide for your selling of the scrolls, and then we can go from there. What do you mean? That it is not? Okay. There we go.
DM0, inanimate object, 17.
All right. What scrolls, Taylor, are you trying to sell?
I will. Hold on. Let me look through them real quick, see if there's any I want to keep. Every single one of them except for suggestion.
You're selling
So-
all of them except for suggestion?
Yep.
Okay. You walk into this back alley shop. It's around a couple of you know to look for those types of shops, like in the darker, on the darker, narrower streets. Usually down a flight of stairs, you'll find a dark doorway that will sell magical goods and sometimes non-magical goods, often at a price that is a bit steeper, but more easily accessed if you don't ask any questions about where they got them, and if you're not too worried about whether or not they'll work or not. And so you find one of these such places.
I will also ask if they have anything up for trade rather than just sell.
Okay.
Does this place have a name?
Oh, I'm going to give it one. Of course it has a name.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you're fine.
I admit it's really nice to stream with my door open because the family's gone. It's so much cooler in here. I'm
my
not
room's
sweating like
burning
a
up.
pig. Well, I'm in the master bedroom, which is facing the sun all day. So it's horrible. It's so hot in this room.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, that's why I got blackout curtains.
I'm not allowed to have them. I'm in the town hall.
It's called Falco's Scriptorium.
Put that in the chat, please.
Yes. And Loophole, I will get with you about this city, because I know you're already starting to ask questions like that, so you can plan for map making. So
well, if it was just that, like, when things come up in the streams, I just write them down so I know if we end up doing that city, I already know things.
Absolutely. I will need. We will work on that city, by the way. I'll get with you this week, and we'll have a map.
Yeah, well, I'm in the process of making River Dam Raft at the moment.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was pretty close.
You were very, very close. It's called Folco's Scriptorium. Folco is he's a gnome that is standing behind this counter on a raised platform behind it. There are scroll racks behind him. The place is dimly lit with a lamp hanging from the center of the ceiling. Sporadically placed throughout the scriptorium are odds and ends and artifacts that you doubt have any true magical property, but you can see skulls and daggers and different odd items, a stuffed crow under different glass cases placed upon the shelves. The gnome behind the counter has limp black hair that is a little bit greasy and hangs down around his pale pate. And he kind of looks with beady eyes at you and a crooked smile as you enter and says, "Welcome to my shop. How can I help you today, good sir?"
Excuse me. Not the sir.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You must forgive me. It's dark in here and my eyes are bad.
Well, anyway, I have these 13 scrolls I want to sell. Or trade, depending on what you got.
What would you be looking to pick up from us? If you were interested in a trade, I might have something of value.
I don't know. What do you have to offer on the table? Let's see here. I got a scroll of animal friendship, charm person, command, dissonant whispers, enthralled.
Oh.
2 zones of truth, 1 fast friends, 1 charm monster, confusion, and dominate monster.
Okay, I will tell you this. For any first level spell scroll, he offers you I do need to be in a little closer. For any first level spell scroll, he offers you I can give you 30 gold for these first level spells each.
Dang.
Hey.
I can give you 50 gold for these second level spells, and he doesn't say second level spells, he just kind of like puts them off. For these slightly more potent spells, these spells are a little bit greater. I would be willing to offer you 75 for these each, speaking of the third level spells. If you have anything of fourth level, these are much harder to craft and come by. I would be willing to give you 100 for each of these. And any fifth level scrolls, I'll give you 150 for each of these. And anything higher than that, he will offer you 200 apiece for each of those. Did you write those those amounts down, Taylor?
Oh, I actually muted myself. Yeah, I did. I'm trying to calculate how much I have worth right now. One second. So I have 5. Isn't it Whispers first level or second?
Oh goodness, I don't remember off the top of my head. I think Dissonant Whispers might be. Hold on.
It is first level.
Yeah, there you go. It is first level. Okay.
4, 5 times 3. $150 for my first levels.
He offered you 30 for first level, 50 for second.
Oh, I got it all written down.
Right, I'm confirming with you. 75 for third, right? Or was it 60 for third?
75.
Okay, and then for fourth level, he offered you...
100?
Okay, for fifth, he offered you 150, and for anything higher than that, he offered you 200, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just getting every spell level real quick. That way I can calculate how much I have worth real quick. Okay, and Brawl is second level. Description, I'm keeping Zone of Truth is second level, so 3. Level is Find Friends.
It's third or fourth, I think. I really should have written down the spell levels, but I didn't.
What's the name of it? Find Friends?
Yeah. Fast Friends. Fast Friends.
Oh, Fast Friends. Third level.
Third level. Yeah, see? I knew it was third or fourth.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Or no. 3 second level. So 150 gold. Third level. Charm Monster, Fast Friends. What level is Confusion? 4th.
Yes, fourth.
So I have 1 third level, so 75 gold. 2 fourth level, 100 gold, or 200 gold. Then Dominate Monster,
Eighth level.
8th level.
Yep.
Well, he's not offering me a decent price for anything above 6th level, so I'm going to keep Dominate Monster.
You can always try to haggle.
Well,
I would cast it.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Dominate. Actually, do I even know? It's in my spell list, but I'm not sure if.
Bard, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard.
Yeah.
Also, Arcana Cleric, Arcane Trickster, Rogue, and Eldritch Knight Fight.
Not sure if Taylor would be able to gauge how much it's worth, though.
That's fair.
Yeah. But you can't. You do recognize the script. Like, you can read it and know that it's way more powerful than anything else you have.
Yeah.
Sure, but just because of that doesn't necessarily mean that he understands what the value of purchasing something like that would be.
I wouldn't understand the exact value. I just know that it's far more valuable than the other things.
Yeah.
He kind of steeples his fingers. How much did you calculate for everything? If you
150, 150, 375, 575 for everything except for Dominate Monster.
Okay, if you sold everything but Dominate Monster, it would be 575.
Yep.
Okay. And what are you looking for in particular for trade?
I don't know. I've heard a couple things from some, passerbys, you know what I mean? And they said that some of them have boats that make it really silent. And they were made by elves.
I am
really...
I deal in scrolls. I unfortunately do not deal in items of that nature. They are hard to come by. You would like to be in contact with someone who can procure items of that nature? Is that what you are asking me?
I don't know about procure. I mean, like, what they have.
What I mean to say is you are looking for someone who has procured such items or has them on hand to sell, and you are not worried about the reputable nature that those items were obtained by?
What I'm worried about is sending somebody on a mission to go get what I want and having that come back to me, you know what I mean?
I do. These types of things are expensive, and I do not believe that you have enough here to trade for such things.
Yeah.
The information can be... I can share such information as to where you can get such things if you'd like, but that information in itself is not cheap. These types of dealers are rare.
You know what? I have a friend. I'll sell you everything else except for this Dominate Monster one. That one, I kind of want to keep to myself. I kind of want to see what it does. However, I will sell you the rest of these for, I think, after adding everything up, I think it's 575 gold.
Of course, I would be glad to purchase them for that price. Let me count out your coin. And he pulls the scrolls back behind the counter and puts 575 gold in Grovarian coin upon the top of the counter. I hope you spend this wisely and enjoy your time here in Grover.
Sure thing. Thank you for your patronage.
He smiles crookedly. No, I thank you for yours. You have a lovely day. If you need to purchase anything, please return. I have plenty of other spells.
Thank you very much. And I'll walk out.
Okay. At this point, Rowan and Tektite, you are traveling through the market, and Rowan, being that this isn't really the part of town that you necessarily frequent, you're the armorer who would have made your armor, the smith who would have made your armor, would be in the city proper. Bless you.
Thank you.
There are two ways to get to the city proper. You can go over one of the bridges, which are gated, and getting through one of the gates is about as quick as it is to get through customs. Long lines of people trying to pass through one of these gates that are used to thin the herd and slowly let people into the city. The other way you can get in is by taking one of the transport hubs. The transport hubs are teleportation circles serviced by one of the noble families in the city. It does cost money to use one of the teleportation hubs, but it's a hell of a lot faster than trying to walk through the city. Walking through the city can take hours, and you have to typically go through multiple gates as you travel from district to district. But it's free. So those are kind of your options. And perhaps you would be talking to Tektite about such a thing.
Wait, I forget. We are on the coast, right? Doesn't mean Tectite can actually help us get there faster.
You're in a city that is on the coast. Yes.
Okay,
That means that like, I mean, if you were out in nature on the coast, then yes, his abilities as a ranger along the coastline would help you move through it faster. But like, his ability as a ranger doesn't help you necessarily get through an urban area faster. Because do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not being slowed down because of the environment and because of difficult terrain. You're being slowed down because there are massive numbers of people trying to passing through a gate that's like wide enough for 3 or 4 people to pass through at a time.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I thought it'd like being a city on the coast, my Tectite's ability activated.
Yeah. I mean, his ability does activate, but the only thing it really helps you do is get through difficult terrain. Difficult terrain does not count against you while traveling upon the coast. But this isn't a difficult. Right. This isn't a difficult terrain issue. This is a population issue.
Don't worry, I understand.
Issue.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I understand. I played 5th edition games though, where a crowd where giant crowds count as difficult terrain. So you know.
Sure. It might count as difficult terrain for flavor, but not necessarily, like, mechanically it may act the same way as difficult terrain, but that does not mean that it is, like, this, it is difficult terrain, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. I had to try.
No problem. You have a couple of options. You can walk through the city and take your time getting into the city proper, or you can take one of the transport hubs if you'd like.
Okay. Because Roland, I guess Roland's trying to remember if he remembers the price of the teleportation ticket would be.
Teleportation tickets are they are 5 gold per person.
Actually. People think Tectite's an automaton and not a full Warforged. Can you get in it for free with me? I think about this.
He would still take up a spot in the teleportation circle, right? So, like, if there's a limited number of people who can transport on it, I think you'd have to pay for him as well, because they like to gouge people here. It's something you've noticed. They nickel and dime everybody. So I think they would argue that you have to pay the price for both of you because he's taking up the spot of a paying customer.
Don't worry, I understand. I honestly guessed that, but
Absolutely. And if you walk up to them and ask that question, that is exactly the response you get. He's taking up the space of a paying customer, so unfortunately we need to charge you.
Okay, I'm guessing the crowds I'm guessing I can't roll luck to see if the crowds are having to be very small that day.
Sure, go ahead.
D100?
Yeah. Just waiting for it to pop up. There it is.
Damn.
No, the crowds are rather. It seems rather busy here this day.
Roland gives a sigh. Well, okay. Well, Tectite, if I had to make a guess, that sort of crowd would probably be about 3 hours to get through. A teleportation circle, though, would cost us each five gold per person. Though probably coming back to the docks would at least probably be quicker. Do you want to take the teleportation circle?
Whichever is faster.
Teleportation circle it is. Do you have your 5 gold with you?
Why do I need gold?
Because Tectite, the law of this is Tectite. This is very different than it is, but the one we have to remember about working in any sort of city, even the Iron Hall, Stone Hall now is money can be exchanged for goods and services. So just about everything you want to do, unfortunately, will cost money. I hate to say it, and that includes teleportation circles.
I don't have any money.
All right, when you get your gold back from Hoth, though, can you give me that? Can you pay back? That's okay. That's possible.
It's fine with me.
Okay, then that'll work. Well, I guess into teleportation circles then.
Okay. It costs you 5 gold. You go up to one of these hubs, right? The hubs are it's like it looks almost like an open air gazebo, right? It's made of stone though, and it's guarded by It's guarded by men in green livery on all four sides, and as you approach, they request the fee as you approach. There's 4 sets of stairs that lead up to this circle in the center of this stone gazebo-like structure, and they charge you for your gold when you get to the top of the steps, and then you step onto the circle, and then after the circle is full, the circle flashes. And so you pile on with a group of people, and the circle flashes with blinding energy, and when it dissipates, you are on a similar platform in a different part of the city. I'm assuming you went to the university district.
We actually went to wherever there was the closest section to the blacksmith for tech types, since that's where he wants to go.
Sure. Where would you have spent most of your time in Grove Air? Would you have gone to a blacksmith near the university, or would you have gone to a blacksmith more near, near where the nobility would live? There are market areas throughout the city, right? It's just a matter of where you would have spent the most time. There are the varying districts, as I said. The districts are controlled by the different houses in the city.
Okay, well, Rowan's is sort of a fallen noble. He would not have been proper nobility. Probably near the university district, I'd say.
He would not have the proper nobility to go to the university district?
He's technically a fallen noble, remember?
Right, yes.
His house is fallen.
Yes. I should pull up my...
I mean, for all I know, he might be registered as a noble, but if nothing else, it's just something he signs on paperwork at that point.
Sure. Okay. You go to the blacksmith where you got your armor. It is a dwarven blacksmith, and it is a blocky but fine-looking building. He's one of the better artificers in the city, or not artificers, smiths in the city. The building's outer decor is done in the dwarven, like a dwarven style, and Tektite, this looks familiar to you. Not this building in particular, but the style of the building makes you feel much more at home. You can smell, or you can sense the flames and smells that are associated with the forge, and you can hear dwarven voices within.
Oh, I march straight to the nearest dwarven voice. Once I enter the building, I will march to the nearest dwarf.
Does Tektite could have a sense of smell, right? He doesn't need to breathe, but he would be able to smell.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There's a... so this smithy is large. There are several dwarves working on at forges in this building. There's one up at the counter who is dealing with customers coming in. It's very busy. It's very hot, and it's very home. You walk in, and this dwarf is at the counter, and after a couple of people, before a couple of people are even completely finished dealing with the dwarf, just kind of finishing up, you march right up to the counter, and this dwarf looks up at you, and he strokes his beard and peeks an eyebrow. Can I help you?
Yes. Where is your master forger? Your master smith?
All the way at the back, but what can I do for you?
Dragon Slayer.
A what?
Spear, lance, about 7 feet, 8 feet long, pointy on one end, mithril on the other.
At this point, I think Rowan comes in. Hey, Fairfax, how are you doing? Remember me?
He kind of squints his eyes at you.
I show him one of the gems that on my armor that he forged himself.
Ah, yes, Rowan, right? Rowan.
Indeed, correct. My friend here would like to make a very unusual custom request.
Yes, he said so. He wants a 7-foot-tall spear.
That is indeed correct. Think you can do it?
Well, of course we can do it. He strokes his beard. Of course we can do it. Just a spear, nothing. Just a 7-foot-tall spear.
No, a dragon. Can I please speak to your master smith? Tech kind of shrugs his shoulder. He kind of just like slumps, like nobody gets it. Like he knows what he wants, and everybody is just he's getting very distraught right now.
At this point, Rowan looks at him and says, yeah, sorry about that, Fairfax. Fairfax. He was from before the Valkyrian Empire. He's older than you or I. Rowan's hoping he picks up the reference.
You're one of the legends. The Warforged.
Yes.
The Dwarven Warforged.
Yes. I am Tektite.
Well,
I don't know, you may not have heard of me, but maybe my brother. He was known to slay many a dragons. His name was Titanite.
Titanite.
I'm going to roll his.
Yes, there are legends of Titanite.
7 foot tall, olive green, as big as a dwarven door.
Rowan, that impresses Rowan.
Of an ogre with his own hand.
Yeah, Rowan, you've heard of this this Dwarven Warforged as well. Like in myths.
Okay, I actually want to know what is the myth of Titanite. I actually want to know.
The myth of Titanite is that Titanite was a Warforged crafted before he was like the first Warforged, one of great strength and power, and he was actually given a dragon slaying lance, like the magical item, like a lance of dragon slaying, was forged for him, and he it's said that he killed one of every type of dragon before his fall.
Ronan says, I think what Tektite means to say is not he wants a dragon slaying, he wants a lance of dragon slaying.
I'm sorry to disappoint, but I can make a huge lance. I might even be able to make a magical lance if I had an artificer to work with who would be willing to do so. The cost would be high, of course, and the time it would take. Weeks, at least.
Who is the best smith here in this city?
Well, we have the best smiths in the city, of course.
Of course, you're dwarves. That's a given. But who is the best dwarven smith in the city?
Why, that would be Dargo.
Let's speak with him.
I am aware of his abilities.
But not mine.
Regardless, that will not change how quickly it takes to forge such a weapon, and the fact that we would need to get someone from the university, at the very least, down here to help craft such a thing, especially if you wanted to have these slaying properties that you speak of. But in order to do anything like dragon slaying, typically you need some... Look, if you need a weapon of slaying of some type of creature, you need to attune the weapon to that creature. It takes a part of what it hunts, and no one has seen a dragon in 1,000 years or more. We could never forge such a weapon. But if you desire a strong, powerful lance or spear, we could make one for you. It would simply take time, but something that would be magical. And besides, there's no dragons to slay. Why would you need such a weapon?
There is a dragon.
Rowan nods his head. Tektite has indeed confirmed, I believe, the presence of at least 2 dragons at this point, if my memory is correct. Correct?
One.
There's at least 1 dragon still alive to our knowledge that we can confirm. Okay, and on that record, would a taxidermic part, which I forgive me, but I forget the knowledge of this. Would taxidermy work, or does it have to be a living, breathing specimen?
Well, I'm not sure. We would need to find out from the enchanter what items would be needed for such an endeavor. It depends on the creature you hunt. I don't know when the last time something of that nature was even thought of.
Tektite taps Rowan on the shoulder. Fine, Rowan. Take me to your college. We will ask the enchanter himself.
Okay.
What?
Yes.
I think your friend here is confused, Rowan. I don't know that he understands how these things work. Besides, such a weapon would cost you incredible sums. And again, you'd need a part from a dragon. You'd need to have already.
If you need a part of a dragon, then taxidermy would work then, though.
It depends on the part. What if you need dragon's blood? No taxidermist would have dragon's blood on hand. If you're looking for and what are you looking for? The remains of a dragon? Who still has the remains of a dragon? Those creatures are dead and gone for 1,000 years. Where would you find such a thing?
Ironstone Hall. I imagine if there's any taxidermic remains of dragons, they would be there. That or probably the king probably has one. That or some rulers probably have one, but the most accessible would be Ironstone Hall. That would be probably the most easiest.
There might be assuming you just need the bones, there might be one near my wrecked ship, but I have no idea how to find it. Let's go to the enchanter and find him.
That sounds fine. Though, just for the record, I do nonetheless. I know that if you don't mind, can you please make I suppose an invoice just in case?
I can make an invoice for such a thing, of course, for a spear or a lance.
We'll have to ask the enchanter what he can enchant first.
He can do both.
I'm sure either would be possible, but if I'm going to make an invoice, I need to know for what type of weapon.
Make both.
A spear and a lance, and a larger than normal spear.
Yes. I'm sure your smith can find the historical record for those designs.
I'm sure.
Very well.
He strokes his chin. For a lance, it will cost 10 gold for either, or 20 gold for both.
Oh, for lance, that's for ordinary ones, right? Not for the lance or dragon slaying.
Yes, of course, for ordinary weapons. Plus whatever the cost of enchanting would be.
Very well. Pay him the down payment, and I will, as soon as we see Hoff, I will give him your money. You can have all of my money. I care not.
Are you certain, Tektite, that is your pay?
I have no use for it. This is the only use we need.
Rowan looks at Tektite. In that case, thank you very much, and I do give the dwarf, his 20 gold, I guess, for both. Okay, and
okay.
I guess when you can, the invoice, when you can figure it out, the invoice, if you don't mind, what it would take to make the ones of the slaying as well, when you have it, figure out how to actually cost.
How long it would take, I would need to confer with with the enchanter in order to understand that.
Right. I'm not asking for any service on that, but just, an invoice, we have the time, so Tektite, we know how much it would cost for using it, respect, just in general.
Of course.
Okay, and Tektite, you want both the lance and spear slaying, or only one?
Both.
Okay, well, double the cost then, I guess, of whatever it is.
You want to have both enchanted for slaying?
Yes.
Okay. I'm looking this up so that I can give you at least a price. Oh, okay. For a lance or spear of dragon slaying, it will be it's likely to cost you somewhere around 8,000 gold each.
I will give you all non-dwarven items from its hoard once I slay it.
First of all, let me once again reiterate that I think it is doubtful that you will be able to have these items made. And second of all, once these items are made, they will need to be paid for before you can remove them from our shop. And
So-
thirdly, I doubt that the dragon that you speak of even exists.
I'm going to interrupt him when he says thirdly. Is he still behind the counter?
Yes.
Right. Checklight's going to lean down on the counter, put both hands down, and go, "Has it been so long that the dwarves have forgotten their oath? Slay them all, drive them from the world? Find me my weapons!" And he turns and marches off.
Tektite, it's been hundreds and hundreds of years since the wars. And remember, most people think that they have fulfilled their oath. Yours is the first news of ever being that there's not in a very long time.
Rowan, I highly doubt that he actually found a dragon. If he is this hell-bent on destroying one, wouldn't you think that perhaps he is confused? If he is as old as you say he is.
We found it. He found. I don't know. He can sense the presence of dragons, and he found the presence of one very recently. He knows for sure. He knows for sure that it exists. He doesn't know the location, but he's sure there's at least one still living.
Rowan, hear me out. I no doubt believe that he believes that he knows that a dragon exists and the location of said dragon, but simply because he believes this to be true does not mean that there is actually a dragon. Consider it, man. There hasn't been a dragon seen in 1,000 years or more. If there was a dragon still around, you think it would hide its presence from the world? To what purpose? It can destroy whole cities.
But Rowan shakes his head on that one. No, not a whole city would repel it. Even a dragon would not dare attack the entire city on its own.
How would you know? You've never seen a dragon.
Because simply put, just too many people. Well, it would. The fact is, there's way too many risks of someone just of it getting shot in the eye. You can't mitigate all the luck in one.
Oh, I've heard the stories of dragons and their ability and destruction and power, and every legend they are able to. They rule the whole world. Of course they can destroy whole cities. That's what the legends say. Rowan, I understand your intellectual mind, but these are creatures of power and magic. And regardless, these things do not exist any longer. And in spite of what your friend here says, he may truly believe that he knows the location of a dragon, but I assure you that perhaps he simply believes because he wants to believe that there is still a dragon. I know that you say he can sense it, and he may believe that he can, but I highly doubt that is true. He is likely very confused. He's been asleep for how long? 900 years?
At least.
You would
the
be
entire portion of the Bulgarian Empire. He was unaware most of his people were scrapped, though he wasn't very happy when he found out.
Well, I haven't seen you in a long time, but take an old dwarf's words of wisdom. Simply because someone believes that something is true does not mean it is true. Guard yourself. Watch yourself around this creature. I do not think that he is wholly sane.
Rowan actually nods at that. Oh no, he's definitely not entirely sane. But saying, but the thing is, well, remember, the problem is that also he's in an entirely different state of being than you or I. We are biological, flesh and blood. He was built and programmed in a way that not even the dwarves remember anymore. More to be a real person. And it's okay. So no, he's by human standard, by any sort of living standards, he's not sane. But I don't. But he very well might be perfectly rational by Warforged standards. As it is, though, you're not wrong. But I think. But the thing is, let's assume for sake of convenience. But as far as I'm concerned, there are two options here. I mean, for one thing, for example, we all know that clerics and paladins can definitely sense undead. Like, there's no debate on that. That's a confirmed fact.
That is confirmed true, yes.
I don't think it's so unreasonable that Tektite could have the ability to sense dragons. It is what he was born to do. That ability, and I think in general, rangers themselves do have that skill. My memory is correct.
He may very well have that ability, yes.
Okay, for what it's worth, though, I think, though, well, the fact is, all Tektites known is war against the dragons. I mean, I could be wrong. That is correct, right?
Yep.
Loophole. That's all Tektites known. Well, that's just one thing.
Yeah.
All he's ever known is war with the dragons. I think I will say this. I'm curious. What would he do? Okay, and I think I won't lie though. He's definitely seemed more energetic now that he thinks there is a dragon to slay. He seems to be, I think, more focused is the word I'd use. More eager. That you're not wrong.
Just watch yourself. If you can find someone who can enchant such an item, and you find the necessary ingredients for such a spell, I would be happy to forge these things for your friend, regardless of whether there's truly a dragon or not. But the price remains the same. The spell, I will have to pay the enchanter, and spells like this are not cheap. The work will take weeks. Once we have all of the parts and ingredients, it will take much skill to craft such an item. And when I say weeks, I mean a month or more at least each. 5-6 weeks, most likely, for each item. It will be a lengthy and grueling process, and that's again if you can even find the ingredients necessary. If you wish to speak to an enchanter, your best way to do it is to go to the university, as you know, where I think your friend is already headed, and he points out the door. However, good luck finding one that will entertain such what they will consider, and what I would have to agree, is a foolish escapade and a waste of gold.
At that point, Rowan gave a grin. Oh no, they'll entertain it for the same reason you'll entertain it. The same reason you want to entertain it. You'll be making weapons that the heroes of legend used to use themselves. A very old work that haven't been seen in hundreds of years. Imagine being known as the dwarf who made that, the enchanter who discovered the old spells, the old ingredients, who made one of the best weapons of the new age. You'd only be too happy to do that, to be recognized as such. You'll be happy to entertain that.
I may very well be, and 16,000 gold is nothing shy of a small fortune. And he smiles. You're right.
Chuckles. Well, don't forget, some of that goes to the enchanter, but yes.
Regardless, I'll take half of that, happily. Well, good luck. I hope you are not on a fool's errand. Then again, I hope you are. I have no desire to see a dragon again.
Rowan nods and looks serious. I personally hope so too. But I want you to do me one favor, though, if you don't mind.
What can I do?
In the event that Tektite, we do find the materials and the money in the enchanter, when you present them to Tektite, do it in the ways that the dwarves of old would do it. Can you promise me that? Give him a true ceremony for such a weapon.
Of course, I would be happy to do that for your friend. There's no harm in showing a bit of theater and tradition in order to serve such a client. Should you find everything you need, and all of that, of course.
For the record, I think Tektite will find them, or he'll die trying.
Indeed. He probably would. He seems the type. But you should catch up with your friend, because his sense of purpose is taking him into a bad part of town. And he kind of points out the door again.
Tech type, wrong way. Okay. And Rowan's... I'll see if I can return here later, because I found something very interesting that you might like to see later.
I would be happy to, of course.
Right, but okay. I think this one you might be able to pay me for the privilege. It's that special. Everyone gives a bit of a wink.
Interesting. You have my attention.
Like I said, I have to help him type now, but if I can find a way back to
yeah.
But like I said, you are one of the best. The ones in the noble districts are just better paid.
I can agree with you there. You head out, and we will switch over to Hoff. Hoff, you said you were making a stop before you went to the Temple of Orad.
Yeah, you mentioned that you saw some more, or that we would have seen more Ganasis.
Yes.
I will at some point stop by a Ganassi of some kind. Air Ganassi if I can.
Okay.
Just one random in the street. Maybe.
Just any random Air Ganassi in the street.
If they look like they're sitting on the side or taking a break somewhere, even better. Or eating alone. If I can find one eating alone at like a restaurant, that would be cool.
Sure. You find sitting outside a tavern. There's one tavern on the promenade that has like outdoor seating. Or actually, there probably are many, but at this particular one, you do see a female Air Ganassi, and she is enjoying a beverage of some kind and some food on her plate and staring off into the crowd.
I slowly approach and then, trying not to frighten this one, I knock on the table as if it were a door.
She diverts her attention to you and smiles slightly. Can I help you?
Hi, I'm not from around here. I've seen a few Ganassi here in the city, and I've never ever seen anyone like me before. What's life like? I
should have you know I'm betrothed.
I'm not interested in you. I am only interested in our race. I've never seen any of us before until just now, other than myself in the mirror. I don't even know.
What do you want to know?
Is there like a culture? Do we have a people? Is there, I don't know, traditional foods? Connection to this plane that we're connected to? I only know of my own abilities and what I've seen of myself, and that's it.
She kind of sighs and smiles. Well, all right. Have a seat. We can speak.
I set down my shield next to the seat and scoot up.
You're a cleric of the light, it seems, by your holy symbol.
Yeah, I'm a cleric of Orad, yeah.
She nods. I come from the plane of air.
Really? What's it like up there?
Different than here. Very different.
Is there cities up there? Are there culture? I mean, sorry, I'm asking the same question over and over again.
She smiles. It's all right. I'm trying to organize my thoughts and tell you what I can. You seem quite eager.
That's all right. Take your time. I'm here for a while, I guess.
The plane of air is like a curtain of blue. It expands all around you. You could say there are cities upon the clouds which fill the plain. The buildings are made of air that have been of gusts so powerful and condensed that you could walk upon them. You can see through these buildings. It's beautiful and fickle and dangerous. We have some culture. Yes. We are sired by Jinn. You know this, do you not?
Yeah, my parents, or well, my adopted parents, I guess. They told me the stories about what they had to do to get me to be brought about.
I see. I know that Jinn can be cruel creatures. There is a city of Agnasi in the plane of air. The story goes that a powerful Jinn brought a bride into the elemental plane of air, and that from her and the Jinn came many offspring, and so we have our city some time ago in the legends. Of course, we have foods there that are different, though many of those foods are brought into our plane from the material plane, but from all over, from anywhere we can access. It's hard to say. It's hard to know what to tell you about. You want to know so much.
Yeah. It's well, I don't know much, so I try my best to learn as I go.
I understand. We gather from wherever the winds take us, and that may seem kind of cliche and like a joke, but it's true. I'm sure you've noticed that in your nature you have a tendency to swing violently between calm and, well, like a storm. And this is something that the Jinn have gifted us with, is their shifting nature, their ever-shifting nature. And so some days we feast upon the foods of the far lands from here, some that you probably would never have heard of. Other times we feast upon the foods of Geneva or Grover. Wherever the winds take us, as I said. There is sport, there are festivals, to dance upon the wind. Not something you can do here. She kind of looks off wistfully at the sky as she had been doing before. I hope someday you can find your way to the elemental plane. It's quite beautiful and dangerous. I didn't stay there long. I've been here in Orden for many, many years now. But my childhood there was quite glorious. I have things to do. I wish I could tell you more, but I do not believe I have the time, and I don't really think I can do it justice.
Thank you. You have no idea how much this means to me. Well, I hope you have a wonderful time wherever you're going, and may the winds guide you.
Of course. And I hope that you find what you're looking for. What did you say your name was?
I'm Hoff Bellows.
Hoff Bellows. Very good. Did your
And you?
parents give you the name Bellows? Or did you just...
Surprisingly enough, yeah.
Did you just happen to be with a family who went by that name?
It was a happenstance that I find extremely amusing every day.
She chuckles. I am Celine. It is a pleasure to meet you, Hoff Bellows. And should our paths cross again, I hope they do so in a similarly favorable way. Good luck to you.
And to you. I shake her hand and get up and make my way towards the Temple of Light.
Okay. The Temple of Light in this district is not very large. It is it's made of white stone, as most temples of light are, and has large windows and like skylights built throughout it. There are stained glass windows, but those stained glass windows tend to be much paler in color than some of the other churches, so that as much light as possible can filter into the chapel. It is only 5 days past the holy time of Orad, on the 12th of Hexen, and so though there are fewer people going in and out of the temple, it is still somewhat decorated with the trappings of the Feast of Light. As you enter, you are bathed in sunlight from one of the many skylights. There are stations of candles on either side of you, and several pews as you walk between them. The altar is bathed in sunlight as well from one of the skylights, and a slim young man stands behind it, reading from a large tome right underneath the skylight in the sunlight. The tome is on the altar, and he kind of stands over it, warming his back with the sun as he does so.
I approach him and I don't know really what to say, so I do the similar kind of thing where I knock on the pedestal before him.
He lifts an eyebrow. Or he lifts his head, sorry, and looks at you. Can I help you, my child?
I am a cleric of Orad. I have not been into a temple of Orad in a very long time, and I'd like to know, what can I do for Orad? I have been granted several large favors by our god, and I'm assuming that you are the patron here, so I have gifts, and I have questions.
Of course. Wow. Welcome, brother. And of course, any service to Orad that you can offer is happily taken. I am Father William. What might your name be, brother?
I am Hoff Bellows.
He steps down from the altar and extends a hand to you from beneath his priestly robes. When you shake, he places a gentle hand, like he shakes your hand with one hand and places a gentle hand over the shake with the other, and smiles. Brother Bellows. Customarily, a tithe is made and if being favored by Orad, of course, you would know, and so the church would never turn down a donation should you offer one. As far as how you can serve in regard to deeds or services, I would have to consider that. To what you're a cleric, you say, a traveling brother, yes?
Yes, I've been serving as a medic of sorts upon the ship the Daring Grace.
And you've been honoring the Lord of Light in that service, I assume.
Every day.
Quite why he has probably favored you with his many favors, and luck.
Certainly.
And would you be looking to spread the light of Orad here in the city? Is that what you are? And what type of work you're requesting, or are you looking more to perhaps hold back the darkness, as it were?
Well, I'm unsure if I'll be here for very long, but I don't know how good I am with people for spreading his word. I was raised into this profession by a simple lightkeeper.
Ah.
Over in Raven Reach.
I understand. Well, let me find out if any of our elders are in need of someone to remove creatures of darkness from the city that you might be able to help with, as it seems that is what you are equipped for, as he looks down at your armor and shield.
As well as hefty mace.
Yep. Or if there are those in the city who need blessing. But as I said, should you require only something simple to return the favor to our Lord of Light, a tithe would be the simplest gift and the quickest.
Certainly. And I bring out the scroll of Hollow. This was found by myself and a group of other companions that I serve with. And I think it may do you great good. I have no great use of it for now, but I think you guys would make wonderful use of it.
He opens the scroll and his eyes widen. Are you certain? This?
Is it not good enough?
My brother, you have bestowed upon us a great and wondrous thing, and believe me, I am eternally grateful, and I am sure that the Lord of Light will continue to bless you on your journeys. Thank you, brother.
I gave him a little bow, and thank you for doing this amazing service for the people.
He, rather than go in for a handshake before you leave the temple, he grabs you by the shoulder, and if you let him, he pulls you into a friendly hug.
Well, of course, I give that man a big bear hug, man.
Nice. He fixes the wisps of thinning hair in the front, at the front of his balding head, and smiles. He says, "Brother, should you ever need healing while in the city, you or any of your companions, healing or rest, please return, and we will do as we can."
Thank you. That would be very, very kind.
Of course. May the Lord of Light guide you as you travel from this place. May all of your paths be brightly lit, and may darkness scurry from before your holy power granted to you by Orad.
And to you, Father.
Did you have elsewhere you wanted to go, Hoff?
DM to me, or is that the man to me?
That's DM to me. DM to you. Wow.
No.
Okay.
Other than that, I think I am good.
All right. Second, were you looking for... What's that?
I said I think the DM needs another drink.
Yeah, I've had 2 cups of coffee, and that I think I need another one. And by 2 cups, I mean cups this big. See, this is. Yeah. So no, it's not. I've drank 2 whole ones of these, and I probably could use more.
Only 2?
What's that?
Only 2, and you're going to DM with only 2 of those cups? You need more.
I definitely need more. I only made a half a pot of coffee and drank the whole thing on my own. What do you want from me?
Make a full pot of coffee. Drink the second one too.
Yeah, I will be up all night. And anyway, second, did you have anything in the city you were looking to do in particular?
Not in particular, no.
Okay.
I might think about selling some of the scrolls, but I'll keep them for now, or I could sell them later. So not in particular, no.
Okay. All right. Tektite and Rowan, you go to the university, but let's see. Taylor, are you in need of anything else before I go back to Tektite and Rowan? Actually, I don't want to have all of my time focused on Tektite and Rowan, but I know they need to speak to an artificer. Okay.
I'd just be going to a regular adventurer shop.
Okay. If you're trying to pick up any mundane items, you can buy them at cost from the PHB. Those are fine. If you're looking for something magical, I can handle that.
Okay.
Are you looking for something magic item in particular? I know you're looking for boots of elven kind, correct?
I'm aware that I'm probably not going to find them at a reasonable price that I could afford.
Yes, that is true. The prices I use are from a guide called Sane Magical Prices. It is a PDF you can find online if you want to look up the prices yourself. But it gives prices that are a little more in line with the power level of certain items, because the DMG doesn't give prices for magical items. Not actually. They give you ranges of prices for crafting them, but the prices that they give you are kind of like cookie cutter and a little don't make sense, in my opinion.
Now, specifically, this is kind of a magic item. I'm specifically looking for a collapsible pole.
A collapsible pole? It's a common. That's one of the common magic items, right? From Xanathar's?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You can find one of those for 50 gold.
I will definitely buy one.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
It's an insanely useful item.
It is an insanely useful item. Yeah, you can easily find one of those for 50 gold. Okay.
I'll go through the list, and I'll see if there's anything I want while you go through with them, and I'll just post in the chat and see what I do find.
That works perfectly. Rowan and Tektite, you arrive at the university. The university is not... it's a campus, okay? It's like a college campus filled with blocky brick buildings, and there is a school of enchanting within it. The university doesn't just teach the arcane schools. There is a building for Arcanum, and they teach all of the different schools within it, but there are different colleges within this university. There's like a college of history, and there's a college of the arts, and there's a college of strategy and tactics, and a college of diplomacy, and all of these different colleges within this school, and they are in various buildings that take up an entire neighborhood of the city. When I say neighborhood, I'm not talking about like a block or street. I mean like several blocks are taken up by the university. It is a large place. And Tektite, you have no idea where it is, though Rowan, you do.
Come on, well, Tektite, as Rowan guides, they're. This is everyone. This is the university. It's the largest academic institution in the city and one of the largest in the entire world. Period. Studying every arts, including enchantment.
Where's the enchanter?
Follow me, please. Follow me, please, to the School of Enchantment, to the School of Magic. I bet we can find one.
Have you said you didn't go to the university, correct?
I think I had to spend some time there through educational purposes, although Han studied me. But there's I think I spent time, but I was never a formal student. No.
Okay, that's fine. There is like a main building when you first come on campus, and like, so there would be, it would be I'm going to say there's probably like an entranceway with a wall. The wall isn't like a hugely high wall. It's probably a 5-foot tall brick wall with iron gates, and like the Imperial Academy of I don't have the name off the top of my head. It's an impressive name. You know what I mean? It's an Imperial University. It's not a Grovarian University. It would be the let's see. Where is it? Yeah, it would be the Imperial University of Arcanum and Scholarly Pursuits, or Arcanum and Scholarship. As you enter, there is a primary building that is very large, and you know that you can go into that first building to discuss things like enrollment and tuition, but also directions and information on the different schools, anything you would need. And you know that the facilities for basically the headmaster and all of the paper pushers are in this building. You can skip that, though, if you know the campus, and go directly to the College of Arcanum.
Okay. Realistically, I'm sure Rowan visited it at some point, but I will say he probably spent most of his time probably in the library, to be honest, if I had to guess. Or the workshops, where the labs were equipped, they're up. I don't think he spent that much time in the one. I'm sure he's been there at least.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, not any great time, though. I think it's probably about accurate.
Okay. So would you go into this main building to find your way?
I think I would look there for a map at that point, for sure.
Sure. You go in, and you get a piece of parchment that has a map of the campus made on it, and you get directed to the School of Arcanum and where the Department of Enchanting would be.
Follow me then, Tektite. And Tektite, just so you know, be a bit prepared. Most of them have only ever heard of Warforged in stories and legends, and some of them will recognize you beyond a mere construct. They will probably want to ask you a few questions. Just to warn you in advance.
How tall was Rowan?
Rowan's how tall?
I did not memorize his height.
You cut out a little bit.
Sorry, I don't know. I didn't memorize his height. I have to check.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was just wondering, because Tektite's quite large, and I just thought it was funny that this little...
He's 6'1".
6'1". Okay, well then you're not that low. Tektite's still taller than you, but it's not quite as funny, so we'll move on.
Okay.
Sorry for the confusion.
The woman at the front desk offered to send you with a tour guide if you were looking to explore the campus. But if you... I assume you kind of decide against that.
That is correct. That's not needed.
Okay. You head to the School of Arcanum, and when you go inside, Tektite's Tektite's presence turns heads. There are some wizards teaching classes here, but there are also they're like auditorium-like classes, right? So those you're not quite sure where each one is, but if you do go to the section she pointed out to as the School of Enchanting, you come to a hallway with several doors. And there are labels here. There are labels on the walls that point in the direction of each of the types of schools, right?
Right.
And you find your way down this hallway in the School of Enchanting. What are you looking for? Do you start opening doors, or what do you do?
I probably would look at the map, I guess, and see, where to find essentially a staff room or something similar. People who might be able to, can talk to without interrupting classes.
I mean, the map that you have is a huge map of the entire campus with just the buildings labeled on it, not maps of each building. So you kind of you can see that these though are they are labeled with like auditorium and then a number, or Enchanter's Hall, and then there's a number next to it, like Enchanter's Hall 1, Enchanter's Hall 2, and so on.
But then I looked to a nearby student and asked, can you point me to which way the staff room is? My friend would like to speak to one of the enchanters.
They kind of look up at you awkwardly and point in the direction to the staff room. And you find your way there, and there are several wizards. There's several professors in the staff room chatting with each other when the door is open, and you kind of walk in, and they all stop and stare at Tektite.
Rowan gestures for Tektite to make his pitch.
Hello? Are you a Warforged?
Yes, I am. Are you the enchanter?
I'm a enchanter?
Who is the enchanter?
Like the head of the School of Enchanting. They're in a class.
I need to speak with them immediately.
Well, he won't be ready immediately. Can you wait 20 minutes?
I assume I can. I've waited 900 years. What's another 20 minutes?
Well, while you're waiting, can we ask you some questions? And they begin to pelt you with questions about when you were made and how long you've been awake or how long you've been alive and what were dragons like, and tell me about the city of the dwarves before the fall of the dragons, and just like any possible question they can ask, they just start pelting you with those questions.
Spend the next 20 minutes giving them monosyllabic answers.
Eventually,
when they ask, what were dragons like? Big.
Go ahead and get an inspiration point. That's fine. Eventually, they take you. One of them takes you to the professor's classroom that you're looking for. And they call down into this room, this huge auditorium. Dean Wexel. He looks up. The dean is a man that has he's wearing like a cap that is kind it kind of like falls down the back of his head and kind of to one side. It's poofy, and he's wearing robes belted around his considerable midsection, and he has this big kind of bushy beard that is bright red. And he looks up and sees you, whispers back and forth between the other professor and himself, and then waves you to come down, which I'm sure you've already started to do. He introduces himself. You're looking for the Dean of the School of Enchantment. That's me.
For the Enchanter. Are you the Enchanter?
As best as can be interpreted, yes. I am Dean Wexel. How can I help you?
I need a weapon of dragon slaying. I have the weapon being crafted. I need it enchanted. I was told that you were the person to tell me what I need, what kind of ingredients I need to harvest to have this happen.
Wow. You're serious?
Yes.
You want a weapon to slay a dragon. Then you want me to enchant it.
Yes.
He strokes his bushy beard, or he kind of scratches his bushy beard, and he sits down at a desk in the middle of the classroom, and I would have to draft a formula. How long do you have here in the city?
I need it as soon as possible. There is a dragon.
Yes, I understand.
No, there is an actual dragon that needs slaying immediately.
Sure, of course. He's like not really. He's like half listening to you and is scratching his beard, kind of writing things down on a piece of parchment really quick. What would you need for such an item? Definitely dragon's blood. Do you have any dragon's blood? Do you know where to find dragon's blood? I don't think I know where to find dragon's blood.
Rowan actually considers it. Would bone marrow work?
Bone marrow. Yes, bone marrow would work in place of dragon's blood. Yes, I think so. I've never made a dragon slaying weapon, but I think that the properties of bone marrow and blood would be similar enough that it could work. He continues to write. Yes, of course. You say you need this as soon as possible.
Yes.
Well, bring me the bone marrow if you have some, or find some. I don't know where you would do that, to be honest. But it will take me. It will take me some time to write the proper formula. We want to get this right? You want to make it right. He's clearly more... Rowan, you can tell he's clearly more interested in the academic, like, can this actually be done, than whether or not there's actually a dragon. He doesn't care less about that.
Right. The chance to make like a weapon like of the heroes, right?
Right.
The old ones haven't seen in a very long time.
Yes. For research purposes. For science. He looks down at the paper, he's scribbling things down. Alright. How long will it take you to bring me some dragon bone marrow?
As soon as I find it, you will have it. I turn to Rowan and I look at Rowan in this almost disgusted, as much emotion as I can show, and I can't show very much. But you can tell that I'm disgusted at this process. It would probably be easier just to find my brother's corpse and use his at this point.
Rowan does consider it. Titanite was very famous, right? Do the myths say what happened to him?
Give me a history roll.
Did I join your history report Titan Knight earlier?
You did, yes, and I told you what you knew about him. No, the myths just say that he had slain an ancient one of each of the races of dragon, of each of the colors of dragons before falling at like a major battle. But the world is very different now than it was then, and knowing where that place of that major battle was is like figuring that out would be incredibly difficult. So it would probably take studying maps and finding a very ancient map of the time before the cataclysm, where that resulted in like the Dragonborn leaving and everything like that.
Sorry. I would like to use my inspiration and have one of those maps be in the historical documents that I collected.
Okay, maybe. You'll have to roll. You still have to roll.
Okay.
I hope
Yes,
there's a crit.
but you can use the inspiration to roll for it, to roll a research roll. Okay,
I'm not any good at that, but that's fine.
that's fine. But you can give the historical documents to somebody who is good at history, and to make a history roll and use advantage with your die.
Well, I mean, yes, because I don't have history because I don't know any. Who has the best history in the group that I would know, that I would trust? Would it be Taylor? Or Hoff?
Hell no.
You don't trust me?
Don't trust Hoff. He's got a +1.
Rowan has
When the-
+7.
What about second?
Do you not?
No,
You and Hoff have butted heads so much. That's true.
Yeah, my first thought is Taylor, then Hoff. Because Taylor doesn't care. Taylor has the same attitude as I do. Hoff is reasonable with me. Second and I, while we don't get along, we're not adversarial like Hoff and I are.
Well, and yet, or you and Rowan, and yet Rowan is the one leading you around the city today.
The irony is not lost on me, but Tektite doesn't have a sense of irony. Well, except for his left knee.
Oh my God!
It is what it is.
Oh god.
Second, what is your history?
I have like a +9, I think, or +8. One of those two. I'm not sure.
Okay, so you probably would have given it to him.
Yes, I will. No, we will. I will stomp my. No, Taylor, he's not taking it away. I already used it. It's spent. You can't have it back. I'm gonna. Yes, I'm like Rowan. We need to find second, and we need to find him now.
In that case, the best place to go will be back to the ship then.
Okay.
No, actually, I think I would be like shopping because I was planning to find something to get something for myself.
Right, but
Okay.
eventually you'll be back at the ship as well. Like eventually you'll end up back there.
Sure, or at least the market area, right? On your way back to the ship, somewhere in there, you
Would
might.
I be able to get a bag of holding while I'm shopping? Or
You would have to find a someone who deals in magic items, and those are very exclusive. Finding someone who sells magic items. Magic items are like artificers. I've said this before, but artificers either work for a noble family or work for like a collector, someone who can pay them a lot of money, or work for like the kings or queens and things like that. But they don't there's just not like random magic item shops around. If you want magic items, you either need to find them in the wild, or you need to know someone who can get you access to an artificer. They're like
Like Rowan.
yes, like Rowan might be able to, or Rowan is an artificer. He could probably figure out how to make one for you, but trying to find someone to purchase magic items from usually requires you doing a favor for someone who has access to someone who can make magic items. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they're rare things. They're not permanent. Magic items are rare things. Consumable magic items are things that you can find and purchase a lot of the time. If that makes sense.
How did which path did Taylor choose to find her magic item? Which path did she choose?
You don't know where I went?
Yeah, Taylor went down some back alleys somewhere to find a. You can go to a scroll shop. There are ones out here on the street. You can go to a scroll shop if you're looking for scrolls. But to find a permanent magic item, you might have to find someone who's willing to. It's not a common thing. It's not that common to find someone who sells magic items. I'll just put it that way. Magic items are very costly, expensive, and rare.
I guess I'll just ask Rowan when he has time. If he can make me one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to find the. I don't think Rowan would pay for would do for free at that point. That's way too time.
I know. Of course, I'll give you some. How much would you charge me actually if I do?
Rowan, I'll give you a formula for. I'll have you roll for a formula for a bag of holding, and I'll pass it along to you. But you probably can make one. Actually, I'll just give you the formula, and part of the formula is actually making the roll. One of the rolls, like for the crafting, will be writing up the formula. Okay, does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So I'll give that to you, and I'll let you know what the cost is. And then he can tell you what he's going to charge you based on whatever the cost I give him for crafting it is.
Yep.
Okay. Eventually, you all make your way back to the central promenade to head back to the ship. You may not have planned to all meet up, but once you're finished doing the things that you would be going about doing, you all kind of find yourselves in the promenade. And right around dusk, you're in the market doing your various things. Maybe you haven't all met up together, but you've all kind of made your way back to that central area with the fountain. And as you're moving about in the crowds, there's a sudden commotion near the fountain. You hear people making you hear people kind of like shouting or being shoved, and you look up and there's someone shoving their way through the crowds of market goers up to the fountain, and steps up on the lid of the fountain and removes a hood and holding up a series of parchments and papers. They read off of this parchment and paper one last word in Elvish and scream out the words, "For the Elven King, for Valiawood and Coriel, for Thalriar," and throws down the paper, and there's a sudden shimmer in the air, and a gate ripples open in the center of this market, and small bipedal bug-like fey creatures begin pouring out of the portal into the market and attacking the market goers.
Oh, that's interesting.
It seems that's our turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell for everybody to just run, get away.
Oh, people don't need incentive to do that. People are scrambling. People are being trampled. The entire area of this central market area has become just a mass of people screaming and running as these creatures pour out of this portal and begin attacking just random, just whoever is around.
Let's fly away.
That Knight activates, uses his bonus action to activate his swarm, or his ability, and then I start moving.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm having flashbacks. So
You are having flashbacks.
Yes, let me make sure I'm at the right place here.
Everybody roll initiative.
Do we see how many there are? Like, is there like a lot of them?
Oh yeah, they're like pouring out of this. They're like pouring out of this gateway.
So it's like way more than anything we've ever encountered, right?
Yes.
Is the portal still open?
Yes.
Okay, are there like city guards nearby? Or are you gonna help?
Oh yeah, city guards are like rushing towards it.
Do we have a map for this?
I don't have a map for this.
Did I see him try to cast that?
Yes, you would have. He's casting it off of the scroll in his hands.
I can't counterspell a spell scroll, can
Actually, can you?
That's a good question. I think you can. I allowed its attempt before.
I guess I could use my sharpshooter shot to find less before he does it, right? That wouldn't be allowed.
No, he's kind of doing this. If you want to try and use your reaction to counterspell, that's fine. If the spell is on your class spell list, you can use an action to read the scroll. If someone is visibly casting a spell from a scroll within 60 feet of a counterspelling wizard, the spell from the scroll can be countered.
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't have... To be fair, I probably wouldn't have noticed it until he already opened it.
That's absolutely true. Yes.
Shoot.
So
right
I'm just gonna say that I probably don't get it off.
Okay.
I wouldn't have noticed until then.
I'd say that's fair. I don't think you would have noticed either.
Why is this acting all goofy?
I don't know.
I know why. Never mind. Let's see if this works this time.
Okay, I rolled terribly.
Bigger than yours.
Taylor, you're enormous.
Can you just put me on the initiative list, because this is not working properly?
Are you selecting your icon?
Yes, I have my token selected.
Alright, yeah, I can add you to the initiative list. What initiative did you roll? Oh, it isn't working. That is being weird.
Yeah. It just keeps rolling and not doing anything.
Alright, so I have one... Tectite, you're on there. 13, was that your original roll?
No, my original roll was a 15.
Alright. You know what? I know why. Because that's... I got it. I know what's going on.
What'd I screw up now?
No, it's not you. It's me.
Oh.
Very nice.
There you go. And... Okay. Where'd you chuck your tokens? Oh, I see them.
Rowan's off in the ancient forest all by himself.
Yep.
Hey, Hop, why'd you leave me?
Hey there, buddy. Oh, sorry. Bye.
Which woods am I from again?
Hey, get back here.
Probably right.
Coriol, right? Or are you from Avelia?
Wait, where are we
Before
right
you
now?
only told me the Orden Woods.
Okay. I don't know if we actually established which one you're from.
Yeah, I don't think we did.
Okay.
I just gave you a brief description, and I was like, where would I be from?
I'll have to go back and double check, because I think we talked about it, but I don't remember if we... I think I might have written it down in my notes. Alright.
We should get to flip a quarter. Whoa! Dude, seriously.
What?
You're gonna have to make like a Constitution check to make sure you can travel 1,200 feet or whatever it is.
1,100. It just keeps on throwing itself over itself. So.
My roll 20 is being stupid, so please
Yeah, you can
hold on a
thank Rowan
second.
for that. He's crashed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Too many points.
my roll 20 is
That better?
slowing down.
Yeah. It probably helps.
Sorry, I didn't realize. I didn't realize I could crash. I'll stop that. I made so many points I didn't realize I would dash around the map like a complete maniac.
Okay.
That's it. Focused. I'm going to hit you with the banhammer again.
Oh, stop it.
I'm just teasing it.
Oh, bonk.
Go back to banjo, monk.
Yeah. I picked up a new piece of equipment this week. I got a Wacom artist tablet with the
Oh, nice.
pen. Yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous. I'm still getting used to using it, but it is because the problem is it's got two little buttons on the pen, and they're right where I hold. Anyway, because my hand is so big, wherever I turn it, one of my fingers is always bumping into it.
Gotcha.
So I have to learn how to hold it differently. So I don't keep like I'll be drawing something and then I'll bump into the thing that moves the whole picture and just put the whole thing just disappears and I get like a little corner.
Lovely. You'll get the hang of it. Okay. All right. You are in various points in this square, and from this fountain, the portal has opened above the fountain, and these things are pouring out of it and entering into this courtyard. Guards are rushing towards them, but people are rushing away, and it's just this sea of people, and you are pushing your way through to get to this. This sorcerer has opened this portal. Second, what are you doing?
Second.
Sorry, I had myself muted. I was talking this whole time. I just realized. Okay. Basically, I don't know. Like, I want to see if can I see if these creatures that he's summoning are of like Fey ancestry, or are they just like demons, like full-on demons?
Give me a Arcana check.
Okay. Gee.
You think they're Fey, but they could have demon ancestry. I'll go with that.
Okay. Shoot. Okay. Like, do I see the guy? Do I see him or not?
Yeah, he is directly under the portal that he has just opened.
You know what? I'll cast Cause Sphere on him and see if he can make the save. My save is 16, so just the roll. So I'll probably make it, but I'm hoping he'll fail.
Okay, so you move in range and you cast Cause Fear upon him. Okay. So he has to make a Wisdom save.
Mm-hmm. I assume he's a wizard. His wisdom is pretty decent, so I'm just hoping it's not, like,
What is your DC? Your spell save DC?
It's 16.
Okay, he fails. He is frightened.
Ooh, nice. Very nice.
Let me double check the exact wording of Cause Fear here. You awaken the sense of mortality in one creature you can see within range. A construct or an undead is immune to the effect. The target succeeds on a wisdom saving throw or becomes frightened of you until the spell ends. The frightened target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. So it can't move towards you, right? And as long as you're in its presence, it has disadvantage on attack rolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it also break its concentration? Because like if you're
It does not break its concentration.
That's unfortunate.
Nope. He maintains concentration, but he is afraid of you.
Mm.
He simply needs to move away from you and has disadvantage on attack rolls while you are present. Yeah. Are you doing any bonus actions other than what you just did?
Not really, no.
Okay. Tektite. You can try and push through the crowd to get to the center, but there are people all around you. it's difficult to get through them.
I'm not being gentle with them.
Okay.
He's throwing things around.
If they break a leg, they'll still be safer if I get to him and kill him first.
Understood. You can't reach him, but you can reach some of the creatures that have been summoned.
How close can I get to him if I double move?
I
want to be standing next to him when I'm done.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to put up a map.
Well, if you say I can't get to him this round, I can't get to him this round.
Yeah, I don't think you can, because you'll have to get through his minions and everything.
Yeah, because I'll dash. I'll go around them. They can have attacks of opportunity. I don't care.
Oh, I get that. I just don't know if there's space to go around them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
So,
do you want? Well, I have a question. We have been at this for a while.
Yeah.
It's almost 11. Do you want to call it here?
I think so. You'll be pushing through. Everybody will be getting ready to react. And I think we should pick up next week with the crowd, with this guy frightened of second. The crowd pushing to get their way out of the square. These creatures pouring out of this portal, and all hell breaking loose around you. And I know Tektite and Hoff, at the very least, immediately go into hero mode. I think some others of you might as well, or at the very least, will go into self-preservation mode. But with that, why don't we call it here, and we can pick up this next week. I will have a map. This way it will be better. I like to do Theater of the Mind, but sometimes with massive combats like this, it's much easier to have a map and know exactly where everybody's positions are. So I'll have that all set up for us for next week. I hope you guys had fun. I will just make some quick announcements again. If you share the link down below, you have one more day to win the mini box of minis, and then I will talk to Farboco and see if we have another prize to share for the next round. But for now, we're there. So please try to share that. Help us get to 200 subscribers, and win the other contest that we have going on. Get a Explorer's Guide to Wildermount, and some other goodies as well. We also have a merch store. I didn't announce that at the start of the stream, but we now have merchandise. We have t-shirts, we have phone cases, we have stickers, we have all kinds of cool stuff, and more is coming. One of those things is we have a really awesome shirt of Century, our Warforged Knight, Eldritch Knight from the Wednesday daytime game that was drawn by Joe Cat of A Crap Guide to D&D fame, and he was cool enough to donate that and say we can use it. Dab God shirt when? We'll see. We'll see about a Dab God shirt. I'll think about it. Anyway, check out the merch store. Also, I do want to say all of these streams are brought to you by our patrons and by our subscribers. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for being a part of that. If you want to see us continue to do the things we do, then please consider becoming a patron. The patron tier rewards, by the way, are getting updated this week. There are going to be some cool new rewards for higher tier patrons coming up very soon. So yeah, check that out. Anyway, thanks for watching. I know that was a lot of announcements. I'm going to go check on my puppy one more time and make sure she's still doing good. You guys all have a good night. And all of you who played, thank you for playing. Yeah, have a great night.
Awesome. And don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
And don't forget to follow Loophole as well.
Thank you, everyone.